Hi, my name is Elia. Me and Shazurina will be explaining further for the lesson plan that we chose, which focuses on the main skills of listening and speaking. So, this lesson plan is for year 2 students, and the theme is Wall of Self, Family, and Friends. It is for topic Unit 5, Free Time, and the main focus is listening, while the integrated complementary skills is speaking. So for previous knowledge, peoples have been introduced to the topic and peoples have been introduced to the days of the week. The content standard is to understand meaning in a variety of familiar contexts and to communicate simple information intelligibly, while the learning standards is understand with support specific information and details of simple sentences and find out about personal information by asking basic questions. So by the end of the lesson, people should be able to state at least 3 out of 6 activities that can be done during free time verbally, and listen to simple instructions carefully and respond to at least 3 simple questions. Ask their friend at least 2 questions about which free time activities that they can or cannot do with the correct pronunciation, word stress, and intonation. So some of the vocabularies included skateboarding, swimming, skipping, somersaults, and stretching. So the sentence pattern that will be focusing on this for this lesson is, for example, can you stretch your leg? So the pupils will answer either yes I can or no I cannot. So these are the multiple intelligence, moral values, and thinking skills. So for the moral value is filling our free time with beneficial activities such as swimming, skipping, and skateboarding. So here I include the educational emphasis such as anticipate problems, propose solution, and also the teaching aids or resources that will be used in this lesson. So I will be elaborating further on for set induction and presentation for this lesson plan. So for the set induction, it is to be conducted for only 4 minutes and we'll be using crossword puzzle that consists of 4 free times activities that they have learned. So this is the crossword puzzle that consists of 4 free times activities that will be displayed on the screen. So the puzzle consists of 4 free times activities that they have learned during their previous lessons. So after I displayed these crossword puzzles, pupils are required to find all the free times activities in the puzzle. So to make it easy for the pupils, I have included 4 of the activities that they can search for in the crossword puzzle. So here I include cycling, singing, jogging, and snorkeling. I also included the picture so that it is easier for them to understand. So they will be given some time to search for these 4 words in the crossword puzzle, or teacher can also assist them in finding the 4 words together. So these are the 4 words of activities that were found by the pupils, which are snorkeling, singing, jogging, and cycling. Teacher will mention and emphasize a little bit on these 4 activities, and then teacher will ask questions to the pupils. And some example of questions that will be asked is what are the free time activities that you have learned in your previous lessons. So pupils will answer according to their knowledge on the previous lessons. Then teacher will introduce the topic free time. Teacher then will recap on the topic which was taught for their writing lesson. It is to ensure that pupils know what they are about to learn in the lesson and what to expect in this topic. So moving on to the presentation stage, which will be conducted for about 8 minutes. So the activities here is called 6 free times activities. that have already been put in the interactive PowerPoint slides. So 6 of the activities that will be discussed for this stage is first stretch your legs, stretch your arms, skateboarding, skipping, somersault, and swimming. So first, teacher will present an interactive PowerPoint slide that consists of 6 flashcards. So these are the interactive PowerPoint slides that have the activities mentioned just now. So the first is stretch your legs. So there's a picture there so that people will have a clearer view of what stretch your legs means. Teacher can also demonstrate in front of them and ask the pupils to follow the action, as well as listening to information regarding the activities. So the next activities is skateboarding, and then skipping, somersault, swimming, and lastly, stretch your arms. So these are the activities that will be used by the teacher. So as I said earlier, the flashcards consist of 6 free times activities that can be done by the pupils. Teacher then explains each of the free times activities to the pupils, and teacher teaches on how to ask simple questions and how to respond to the questions. Then teacher gives guidance and feedback if needed regarding the topic. So example of questions that will be asked is the teacher asks for the pupil's name. So for example, I said, Ali, can you read? And then we ask the pupils to choose one activity that can be put at the end of the questions. Okay, for example, Ali, can you swim? So teacher must explain that the possible answer for the questions can either be yes I can or no I cannot, and yes means that the boy agrees that he can swim, and no I cannot if he disagree that he did not know how to swim. So by listening attentively to the structure of the questions, the structure of the sentences that was taught by the teacher, pupils can easily grasp the information given to them and implement it in their daily lives. So that is it for introduction and presentation stage.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. My name is Shazrina from TESOL F, and now I will continue what Elia had presented just now. So now I will move on to the practice stage. So for the practice stage, I will conduct the raise your hand activity where it will test the pupils' understanding based on what they have learned during the presentation stage. So as what Elia said just now, the pupils have learned about 6 free time activities. And also, they learn on how to ask simple questions and how to respond to those simple questions based on the correct sentence structure. So now I will show you the lesson plan for this stage. Okay, for the raise your hand activity, the pupils are required to raise their hand if they think that they can or cannot do each of the free time activities. First of all, the teacher will give instructions on how to do the activity, and by using the simple questions that they have learned, the teacher will ask the pupils whether they can or cannot do all the 6 activities. And since this lesson is carried out online via Google Meet, so the pupils can just press the raise your hand button in the Google Meet, or they can just raise their hand manually. So for example, the teacher will ask, do you know how to swim? And then the pupils will listen to the questions given, and if they think that they can swim, they are required to raise their hand. The next question, can you stretch your arms? And if the pupils thinks that they can stretch their arms, the pupils are required to raise their hands. So this activity acts as the assessment for the pupils based on their listening skills. This is because we can see that based on this activity, the pupils are required to listen carefully to the questions given, understand what is being asked, and how do they respond to the questions given. So next, for the production stage, the teacher will test the pupils' speaking skills. So the speak up activity will be carried out where the pupils are required to ask questions to their friends and answer whether they can or cannot do the free time activities. First of all, for the production stage, the pupils will be divided into pairs. The teacher will pick a pair randomly, and then the teacher will pick the activities based on the spinning wheel. For example, pupil A is required to ask questions based on the activity that they get. Pupil B will respond to the questions based on the question given by their pair. For example, the first activity that they get is swimming. So pupil A need to ask his friend. For example, Aiman, do you know how to swim? And then his friend, Aiman, needs to answer the questions given based on the sentence structure that they have learned. Aiman firstly needs to do the swimming action, and if Aiman thinks that he can swim, he needs to answer, yes, I do. Next example, if they get stretch your arms, pupil A need to ask the question, Aiman, can you stretch your arm? And then Aiman will try to stretch his arm. If Aiman thinks that he can stretch his arm, Aiman needs to answer, yes, I can. So based on this, we can see that the pupils are tested based on what they have learned during the presentation stage. And they have actually applied the sentence structure that they have learned, and in this automatically acts as the assessment method that is used to test their speaking skills, because they need to question and answer by their own. And for the production stage, the teacher will use this timetable in order for the pupils to tick or cross based on what their friends can or cannot do. So next is the closure stage. For the closure stage, the teacher will just ask to list out what are the examples of free time activities that they have learned today, and impart moral values, which are that we need to fill our free time with beneficial activities. So this is the appendix. This is the crossword puzzle used by at the presentation stage, and this is the exercise given for the practice and production stage. So that is all from us. Thank you.